And now, BillyCBoxing.com presents Thumbs Up, Thumbs Down with Billy C. Here he is, Billy C.
Thank you, Jeremy C. We're coming at you from the Billy C studio in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for BillyCBoxing.com's Professional Boxing's Thumbs Up and Thumbs Down for today, August 22nd in the year 2012. Just a little reminder, don't forget about the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. You can check it out Monday through Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, or check out the replay every day on BillyCBoxing.com, or, of course, on the Fight Now television channel. You can check us out there every single day. You can also listen to the show whenever you want, whether you're driving to work, whether you're working out on a treadmill or riding a bike or something like that, or even sitting through your daughter's ballet classes. I don't know, man. Listen to it whenever you want by becoming a premium podcast subscriber. That's right. Premium podcast subscribers for the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. It costs you $15 a year, and you get no less than 10 hours a week of content, even if you only play 2 hours a week. For $15 a year, $1.20 a month. Come on, man. You can't get a better deal than that. You can't even go to a bar and drink a beer and buy one for your friend and tip out the bartender for less than $15. So become a premium podcast subscriber. All right, here we go. Thumbs up goes for the event that's taking place September 1st in Colorado. It's being billed as Colorado versus New Mexico. Now, I'm giving kind of two thumbs up here. Number one, I'm giving a thumbs up for the title of the show and the backdrop of it, having young Colorado fighters fighting young New Mexican fighters. You know, this was like a blast from the past to me because back in the day, and I say during the day, you know, even in the heyday when boxing was very popular on television, which was in the 50s, you know, we used to. How popular was it in the 1950s? How about this? How about we used to have a TV guy just to tell you what boxing events were on television. That's how popular it was in the 1950s. Boy, are those days far and few between, right? They're gone. But back in those days, they used to have themes, and it used to be the Irish kids against the Italian kids, or the German guy against the Jewish fighters, or whatever. And it used to fill it up. It was a neighborhood versus neighborhood, and the venues would be filled up, and boxing was at its peak during those eras. Well, we've become so politically correct that, you know, promoters are afraid to say the Jews against the Germans, or the Jews against the Italians, or the Italians against the Irish. I mean, you know, you don't want to say that. You don't want to offend anybody. We've become so conscious of not trying to offend anybody, and just something like, you know, a neighborhood competition, which used to fill seats and you know, make events exciting. We're losing. Well, this is a step in the right direction. Having Colorado versus New Mexico, you know, I like it, man. And the main event, it's featuring all young fighters, but the main event is even also a step in the right direction. They have two young female fighters. That's right. Even makes it worse than that. They're light. They're flyweights. Chantel Cordova hasn't fought in about a year. She's got a record of 9 wins, 3 losses, and a draw, only 3 knockouts. She's taking on Brandy Montoya. Now, Brandy Montoya is from New Mexico. She's got a record of 3-2 with no knockouts. Now, listen, I've seen Brandy fight before. She started off her career, I believe, 0-2, but she didn't really know how to fight. Now she can fight. She's a very exciting, very cute as a button, this girl, and she can fight. She can move around. She's in great shape. I think this is a very, very close matchup. Don't look at the records and be conned that Cordova is that much better than Brandy Montoya. I like this matchup. I think it's a good matchup, and I think it's a good main event for a card that's titled Colorado versus New Mexico. Thumbs up for that. I give a thumbs up to the return of Andre Berto. He was licensed in the state of California yesterday, which means he'll be back soon. I'm glad that the PED issue is behind Andre Berto. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not a proponent for performance-enhancing drugs. I am against it. But now that we actually have something in place, like a procedure by the ABC, like some guidelines that were defined, now I think that if these guys, the top 4, including Andre Berto, Enzio Macronelli, Antonio Tarver, and, of course, Lamont Peterson, if any of those 4 guys test positive again, I believe it should be an immediate lifetime ban for any of them. Now that there's a procedure in place, there's no excuses. With that said, I believe that Andre Berto deserves a second chance, as the other three do as well. I give a thumbs up to the California State Athletic Commission for granting Andre Berto a license, and now it's time for him to do the right thing and never, ever, ever even come close to testing positive again. Finally, my last thumbs up goes to the court that stopped the Rigondeaux fight, not because of anything other than the enforcement of a contract. Rigondeaux had a contract with Gary Hyde, and then he breached it. My opinion of contracts is when you sign a contract, you have to own up to it. The time to negotiate and not be happy with a contract is before you put this pen to that piece of paper. You know, too many times in all sports, everybody complains about a contract. Oh, you know, Don King signs this guy, he makes $1 million, he's happy when he gets his first payment. Then he says he gets ripped off when he finds out Don King made $5 million. Now, whether you look at that as ripping off or not, the time to complain isn't after you sign the contract. Same thing with Rigondeaux. He signed a contract with Gary Hyde. He's got to own up to it. He can't be cutting deals without Gary Hyde being involved, as per that contract said. So I give a thumbs up for the court for doing the right thing in this case and protecting somebody that actually went out of their way to sign a contract. In this case, the manager prevails at this stage of the game. I hope that they open it up and all parties are happy, and I hope that fight goes through because I thought it was a nice matchup. So thumbs up for the Florida court that stopped that. Now, thumbs down for anyone, promoters, fighters, manager, etc., 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 who sign a contract and either breach it or complain about it after they sign it. It's a continuation of the thumbs up. You know, you can't sign a contract and be happy for 1 minute and then unhappy the next. It happens in the sport of boxing. It happens in other sports as well. I can't tell you how many times in professional football, which I said on today's show has the most continuity of all sports, their players complain as well. They sign a 5-year deal. They're happy. 3 years into the deal, the guy playing next to them is making more money. Now they want a new contract. Well, guess what? You signed your contract. You know, the deal is read your contract. If there's any issues, if there's anything you're not happy about, that's when you bring it up and negotiate. You don't complain after the fact. You don't hold back. You don't hold out. You don't not go to fights. You don't not talk to your manager. You sign a contract and live up to it. That's the way it is. End of story. Thumbs down for anyone that breaches those contracts. And finally, thumbs down to the WBA's new scoring system. Listen, I'm not necessarily opposed to a half-point system or even an 11-round championship fight. You know, their thought process is they want to reduce the terrible decisions that we've been accustomed to. But that's not my hang-up. My hang-up is this. You know, I mentioned continuity before, and in other sports like NFL, let's say, for example, there's plenty of continuity there. The teams make the same amount of money. They have a salary cap, so the money is distributed most likely in an even way. They place the games against other teams with continuity. You know, they have structure of divisions and different titles, so you have subtitles that you can win. You can win a division title. You can win this award, that award, all of that stuff. It's all continuity. It's all based on continuity, and the end result is a very successful league. We don't have continuity in boxing. Yes, we have multiple sanctioning bodies, but there's no continuity there. There's no continuity because now all of a sudden the rules are going to be different. You know, it opens up the door for complaints from a fighter. Hey, I'll give you an example. Hey, man, me and my team, we knew that he was a power puncher and he was younger and stronger, so we were going to wait until he tired himself out, and we wanted to knock him out in the 12th round. We wanted to give him those first 11 rounds. Oh, I forgot that the WBA only goes 11 rounds. I guarantee you that's going to be an excuse. You know, the point system, come on, they'll be just as bad. Listen, what boxing needs is continuity. We need the same set of rules. We need everyone to follow the same set of rules. And we need some kind of payment set up, man. We do need a payment structure for fighters. We should have a payment structure set up for boxing where 4-round fighters make X amount of money, 6 round, 8 rounds, so on and so forth. And as you accumulate wins or you accumulate regional belts or whatever, that your salary range goes up. End of story. There should be continuity in the sport of boxing. If we had more continuity in the sport of boxing, boxing wouldn't be in a negative state the way it is now. And speaking of negative states, if you've ever witnessed the New York State Athletic Commission, there's a negative state. Hey, that concludes our thumbs up, thumbs down for today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Ciao, baby.